Nowadays, every time you pick your phone and start scrolling through social media, lots of people are trying to manipulate you. Sell you the course because you're a failure.
If you're over the age of 25 and you're still working a 9 to 5, you are a failure.
They want to help you making tremendous amount of money simply by doing nothing and just lifting your finger.
Alright, you want to know the secret to getting a Ferrari or Lamborghini like this?
Or you should listen to their very important advice because they just simply know everything about everything.
Only water I drink is sparkling water because sparkling water is for rich people.
And you know, okay, doesn't matter. They can post about whatever they want. But the problem is, then when you open the comments and you start reading them, lots of people are really believing them. And that's why today, I want to talk about the most popular manipulation tactics that those influencers use in order to manipulate you. So once you learn about them, you'll be able to spot it and not fall into their manipulations. My name is Nikita, and here I talk about practical communication tips for everyday life. Now, without further ado, let's roll. Manipulation number 1, halo effect. So what is the halo effect? The halo effect is then when we're looking at someone and we see that this person is good at something, we automatically starts believing that this person is also good at other areas of their life. And this is really a cognitive bias. Everyone falls for it. We cannot really help it. It's just how our brain works, you know? If, for instance, we see that the person is smart in one thing, we automatically are way more likely to believe that he's good at other things. It could also work if the person is simply just good looking. If the person is simply good looking, people start listening to his or her advice and start automatically believe that the person figured it all out in other areas of his life. And a very good example is the influencer that is called the Wizard Liz. So if you don't know, she's a very popular YouTuber, posts glow up tips and just, you know, some sort of a life advice. She looks really gorgeous. And because of that, she has this halo effect. Because of that, people start listening to her. She's also very funny. I watched some of her videos. I really enjoyed them. You know, I really had a good laugh. But here's the problem. Just because she's so good looking, some people, especially, you know, her target audience, so maybe this is like girls, you know, from 14 to 25 years old, I think, want to be like her. They aspire to be like her. And when she starts giving advice about topics that she's not an expert in, like you cannot be expert in everything about everything. People start really listening to her and her advice and acting this way. But sometimes, and actually a lot of times, she's just wrong. And she was talking in her videos about red flags in relationships and how to have relationships and what to do in a relationship. And people were really listening to her, like with an open mouth, you know, like, oh, like, yeah, she spills the truth. And then her boyfriend made her pregnant and cheated on her. What the fuck? And the next example is Taylor Swift. Well, Taylor Swift is a great singer. Well, some of you like her songs, some of you probably just want to throw up after you hear this name. Numbers don't lie. She's really good at performing. Because of that, she has a lot of fans, and all of her fans are looking at her and just think about her as a life goddess. And then she was used to promote one of the candidates in the previous elections in America. Look, I'm not really here to discuss politics. I'm not saying that, you know, you should vote for that party, for another party. I'm from Ukraine, you know, I'm from another continent. I don't give a shit. And the truth is, that she might be a great singer, she might be a great performer, but she is not in a position to actually tell who you should vote for because she doesn't understand that. She doesn't understand the real economic situation. She doesn't understand sociology, you know, history, like all of those other things in order to actually have a better opinion than other people who are looking at her. But because we have this halo effect, because those people look at her and they think about her as an authority, whatever she tells them, like their audience, they will listen. And of course, I'm not saying that everyone just went and voted for that candidate that she was voting for. No, I'm just saying that a lot of people made a decision simply because one person who's an expert in a completely different area told them to do that. And if this happens in your life, that one influencer who's good at one thing start giving his a dumbass opinion about another domain, another area that he's not really qualified for to give opinions, and you disagree on them, you have a 100% right to do so. I'm not saying that you should not listen to them at all. Of course, you can hear their opinion, and if it resonates with yours, okay, sure, do that. But do not have this opinion only because this person said that. That's a cognitive bias. That's a manipulation. So this was manipulation number 1. Now let's talk about manipulation number 2. To understand the manipulation number 2, I invite you to watch a video with me. I have here a laptop. So let's just turn it on and let's watch this video a little bit. Okay, and then let's discuss.
Are you kidding me? This video right here has over 76 million views. This channel makes over $1 million a year. Look at this. It is a picture of thunder and rain. I'm going to show you how to do this in less than 5 minutes. Coming up next.
This video was made 5 years ago. But if you take a look, a lot of people nowadays create content like this. You know, you can just look everywhere. You know, you can just open Instagram Reels or just look at YouTube. Lots of, like, crazy amount of people want to tell you about this awesome opportunity. How to make crazy amount of money simply by doing nothing. This guy is basically saying, oh, you want to be a billionaire? Oh, wow, yeah, it's very simple. You don't need education. You don't need a degree. You don't need anything. You don't have to know anything. All you need, just spend 5 minutes a day, create a video with rain and thunder and raining picture, upload it on YouTube, get gazillion amount of views, and become a millionaire. Well, other people do that. What? You're worse than that? Hell no. Look, you might say that what he's saying is just a complete trash, right? No one falls for it. But let's take a look at the numbers. The numbers say that this video has 1.7 million views. And people in the comments, what they're saying, let me just read. Can't believe I'm just seeing this. Jad, this was so good, informative, and inspiring. Thanks so much. Like, those people really fucking believe in that piece of shit. And you know what's interesting? That this guy, he's right. No, really, he tells you the truth. However, here's the problem. That he tells you only half of the truth. And this is the second manipulation that is called cherry picking. You see, in everything you do in life, we have pros and cons, right? We have positives and the negatives. And what they do in the videos like that, they just show you only the positives without show you the negatives at all. And that's why if you do not have a critical thinking, and that's why a lot of people are falling for it, they just look at the positive and they really think that this is a great deal, this is a great idea. So what is true about it? Well, the first thing that is true is that this content like that, yeah, can make a lot of money. That's true. The second thing, that it's very easy to make. That's also true, right? Because nowadays, even in the age of AI, you just tell AI, hey, generate me a video with a thunder, you know, like with rain, and then also generate me the raining music, and boom, you could just upload it on YouTube. Good. That's also true. The third thing that is true, there are successful channels like that. So true, true, true. Because of this, you might have a feeling like, yeah, what he's saying is right. However, he doesn't really tell us about another side of the coin. And another side of the coin is that this content is very, very easy to make. Because of that, millions of people create content like that. And nowadays, the content like that is just simply automated. Because of this, we have a lot of supply, right? Like lots and millions of videos and not enough demand. There's simply not enough people on planet Earth, and they don't have an infinite amount of time to watch all of those videos. And what happens is that less than 1% of channels like this become successful because all of those channels are the same, and it's very, very hard to stand out. So he can cherry pick and show you lots of winners. But the thing is that there will be hundreds, thousands of losers. And this is only one example, one of the many. So when you hear about this awesome opportunity and you should do that, again, I'm not saying that he's lying because he's not lying. However, he's also not really telling you the full truth. He's telling you only half the truth. So don't fall for this manipulation. Next time you see something like that, ask yourself, well, okay, so those are the pros. But what are the cons of this thing, right? Those people will not tell you that. So do a little bit of a research. Once you have more information, you'll really understand what it is. You'll be able to make a correct decision. And another very common manipulation tactic that lots of influencers use, it's also very connected with the manipulation tactic that we just discussed. It's called FOMO, or the fear of missing out. Once they start selling you the idea that this course or this thing is just what you need, it's not actually enough to make you to spend their money. So they need to add a little bit of other incentives. This fear of missing out right now is very, very commonly used in AI sphere, because all of those people tell you, you need to invest in AI. You need to start using our AI because you will be replaced. And they also say, oh, you will not be replaced by AI. You will be replaced by people who are using AI. So what you need to do, you need to buy a service and start using it. Did you hear that? Well, I'm pretty sure you did, right? Because it recently became very, very common. And look, the reality is that it might be true. Well, I cannot deny the fact that some industries are being reshaped and some jobs simply disappeared because of AI. So is it true? Well, yes, it is. But there are also lots of situations where it all was just hype. And I'm not making this video to discuss if AI is going to replace it or not, right? This is maybe the topic for another video. What I want to talk about here is that when you hear something like that, you have to keep in mind that they're probably using fear in order to manipulate you. So what you need is that look at this opportunity unemotionally, without having this fear inside. Just take a look at the pros, take a look at the cons, analyze the situation, and make a rational decision. Because all of those manipulations are very powerful, simply because people do not want to stop and use critical thinking. And once you start using this critical thinking, you'll be able to see the gaps. Like something doesn't add up, something is wrong. And if there's something wrong, then find out what it is. Use your critical thinking skills, make a correct, logical decision, and act. The real reason why those manipulations work so damn well is because people don't use only one manipulation. People use all of those manipulations together. If you just open Instagram, you will see some cool looking guy or a girl, who's very rich, look confident, also looks great. So this is the halo effect. She also has some sort of an awesome opportunity, how she became rich and also how she can help you become rich, telling you lots of positives and nothing of the negatives, right? So cherry picking, and also adding a little bit of fear of missing out, that you need to act and you need to act now, because if you don't, you'll regret this by the end of your days. And this is it for today. I hope it was useful for you. If so, then consider hitting like and subscribing to my channel so you will not miss my next videos. My name is Nikita, and I'll see you next time.